The official recap for episode 2. I'm going to fly through this really quickly because I have another episode that's probably going to come out in the next 48 hours because we're trying to get caught up. It's the bottom line. We're trying to get caught up. As you all know, the league, we have fallen behind drastically for a lot of different reasons, some external factors, some internal factors. But one thing that I can promise every single one of you is that you all deserve some consistency, right? Some consistency. First things first. I know I said, in the beginning when we put it out in our rules that we would try to avoid forfeits at all time. And lately there's been a shift where it's like we're handing out forfeits left and right. I'll say just kind of bear with us because we're all somewhat new to this whole process. Just understand that hey, we want to stay on schedule, all right? And so when we have multiple teams who are waiting to the last minute to play their games, and next thing you know, it's been 9 days and they still haven't played their games. And next thing you know, we're bleeding into week 4 and we still haven't even played games. I don't know, from like week 2. That's an arbitrary example. After a while, we have to kind of draw the line, and I see that now. I think when we very first started this, just for the purposes of maintaining even stats across the board, I wanted to avoid forfeits, but I understand that the importance now of go ahead and handing out the forfeits so you can move on, right? So you can move on and stay on schedule, right? You won't be, what is the word? Recording the podcast and releasing stats and all that, 2-3 weeks late if we put our foot down and start adjudicating some forfeits. So that's kind of where the shift has been. And as you all know, there's a lot of turnover, teams dropping, having to replace them. And so there's just various factors going on. However, I will say this before we go and get started, and I go ahead and share my screen. Let me say this. There's a huge announcement coming up, but I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to spoil it, but huge. When I say huge, bigger than anything that we've announced in the private club thus far. Trust me on that. So, help is on the way, right? So we need help at the top right now. There's only 3 of us like really grinding out these tasks all the way up at the top. So we need help, but I'm telling you, help is on the way. Help is on the way, and I'll stop there here because I don't want to ruin anything. So be on the lookout for episode 3. That said, I'll go ahead and start sharing my screen so we can get this thing started because you all have been patiently waiting. So here we are. All right, so remember, everything that we're going to go over, this is week 2 only. So anything that you did in week 3 is not included in this episode. Just remember that. Just for administrative purposes, when you see your rank, your record and your stats, just remember only the first 6 games of the season are for this episode. You're going to have to wait until Thursday to see the week 3. As long as we get week 3 closed out, which I think closes out tonight. I think there's 2 more games from week 3 that need to be played. So let's go ahead and move forward. Let's do it. All right. So as always, all right, we're live on our website, YouTube, and Twitter. These are the links. If you haven't, like, share, subscribe, just in order to promote the league and enhance exposure. That matters. All right. So always have to knock out that administrative announcement. So here we are. So the private club thought of the week. Leadership is the capacity to translate vision into reality. All right. So this quote is not only for me, not only for the members of the committee, but also for all the team captains and GMs out there who meet rough patches. All right, you meet rough patches when it's difficult to get your friends, your teammates to follow your vision. Right, to follow your vision. You have the overall big vision for your team and your brand. And it's the same thing at this level, right? Same thing here up at the league, right? You have a long-term vision, but real leadership is measured by your capacity to translate that vision into reality. And you do that by interacting with the people who you are hoping are going to follow that vision, right? You interact with them. You have to convince them that you have their best interests at heart, that you're serving them and they're not serving you. And that matters. That matters. So I say that the reason I wanted to choose this quote for this particular episode is because we're seeing a lot of personnel turnover, right? A lot of teams are either dropping because they can't get along with one another, right? You have the GM has one belief and the players has a different belief, and they don't, they're not meshing. There's another dynamic going on around now where current gen teams are finally making that transition to next gen. I think we've always anticipated that, going into 2K24, but now that the PlayStation 5 is out and much more available now, it's not as hard to get a PS5 now as it was maybe about 6-7 months ago. More teams are just going to making that transition now, right? So here again, just kind of understand that when it comes to the longevity of what we are trying to do here in the private club, this part matters. You want to be able to lead, you're not only yourself but your team in a manner where your overall long-term vision becomes reality, right? This is also a challenge for those who are maybe not in leadership positions, and you're a player, right, and a teammate, right? Followership matters. Empowering those who are in those leadership positions matters if the long-term vision that's in the best interest of everyone is going to become a reality. So I just kind of wanted to share that thought of the week. Let's move forward. Now, as quick icebreaker, y'all know how we get down. All right, we have three trivia questions. I'll let you know what all three are up front, and then we'll kind of hit on the answers in iteration. So as of week 2, first one, week 2 only. Remember, this is not week 3. So week 2 only. How many times does a player score 40 or more points in a game? Is it A, 6, B, 8, C, 11, or D, 13? How many times in the first 6 games of the season, right, first 2 weeks, did a player score 40 or more points in the game? All right, that's the first one. Second one, as of week 2 only, we're not including week 3. Who is the only player to record a triple-double in the league so far as of week 2? All right, is it Payless from V-Long? Is it Change from Domination? Is it Wet from Up and Over? Or is it myself? Right? Which one of those 4 individuals posted a triple-double, and they were the only individual to do that as of week 2? And then last but not least, so this is a really good one. As of week 2, there's only one player, only one, that still has a 100% field goal percentage after attempting at least 10 or more field goals. So this player, he's not the only one with 100% field goal percentage, but he's the only one that still has 100% field goal percentage and has taken at least 10 shots or more in a game. The question is, what team does that player play for? Right? I don't expect you to know the player's name, but just can you answer which one of these 5 teams does the player play for? Is it A, Immortals of Silence, B, Area Code Boys, C, Trench University, D, Vamp Camp, or E, Northside Vibes? All right, so we'll come back in iterations and we'll answer those questions as we go. So, all right, so now we get to open up the standings. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's enjoy it. Hey, so starting in the Legend Conference, all right, North Division, Area Code Boys are still hot, man. They are still hot, and they are still leading from the front. I find it to be impressive. We haven't played them yet, but they're definitely making noise. And to be honest, their brand of basketball is somewhat unique. So, congrats to them. Violence is still strong. Violence and Northside is still strong, sitting at 4-2. 4TF at 3-3, straight even. And then you got Ball So Hard at 2-4. But you got to remember that 2-4, it can be misleading because that record, you got to understand, that was a replacement team. So they inherited that previous record from the team they replaced. Remember that. And then you got Just Be Comp at 1-5. Let's go look at the South. All right. So TU and Miami. The South is deep, man. TU at 5-1. Miami Killers also at 5-1. Some legit talent there. All right. So you got us. All right. AMC Legends, AMC over everybody. Y'all know how I get down. All right. We finished week 2 at 3-3. Vamp Camp, here again, another replacement team. All right, another replacement team. So, they inherited that record. All right, they finished week 2 at 2-4. Break the Code also finished at 2-4. And Elite Brand at 0-6. That said, I think everybody already knows this. But we'll talk about it more. We'll talk about who's replacing them on the week 3 episode. But Elite Brand is officially out of the league. They decided to drop as of 2 nights ago. So the individuals who are going to replace them are going to have to inherit that record, right? And that's just kind of how we're conducting business now. In the event none of the replacement teams who are on the wait list want to replace them and inherit that record, that is fine. Then Elite Brand will stay right there, and they will just forfeit every game for the remainder of the season. That's just kind of how we got to conduct business, because we have to move forward, right? We have to move forward. Let's move on. Let's move on to the GOAT conference. So GOAT East. All right, GOAT East. Team domination still at them. Hey, listen, it's funny because the last time we did this on the previous episode, there was an argument to be made that the GOAT West, the GOAT Conference West division was the deepest division. I think the East has something to say about that. And look where we're at. So tier 1 up and over and team domination, all 5-1. Right now, they are the most winningest division out of all 4 divisions, right? And Xavier not too far behind at 3-3. Then you have Distant Seals and also Immortals of Silence. So, congrats to this entire division, man. I mean, this is definitely deep to have half your conference, half your division to be 5-1, man. That's thoroughly impressive. All right, and then last but not least, we got the West division. All right, GOAT West. All right, so Simply Great still leading the way at 4-2. V-Long also at 4-2. Look, here again, we just lost V-Long as well. So they were one of the teams that was really successful. Painless, by far one of the best players in the league, easily, not even close. But his team has decided to transition on the next gen. So we're going to be losing them, and we're going to have to replace them. I'm pretty sure I already know who's going to wind up replacing them, but I'll be making that announcement. Here in the next 48 hours. Generational Miracles, we also lost them, right? So there's 3 teams. There's 4 teams on the wait list. There are 3 teams that have dropped. So here again, there's still going to be one more team on the wait list when the math works itself out. But here again, if you're interested in playing in the private club, this is why you go ahead and register on the wait list now to lock your spot in line now. That's why that matters. And then last but not least, Humble Mentality. Remember this, they did not play a single game in the first 2 weeks. The team that they replaced finished week 2. Then Humble Mentality came in. So that said, don't let that 0-6 fool you. I already got some inside information that they played some games in week 3 and they're killing it right now. So don't let 0-6 fool you. All right. Now, let's go back to that first trivia question. What was it? All right. So how many times has a player scored 40 or more points? All right. 6, 8, 11, or 13. And the answer is 6. So there's been 6 times as of week 2 where someone has scored 40 or more points. All right, now let's look at the leaderboard. Okay, so who do you think is the number 1 point leader? Scored the most overall points as of the first 6 games of the season? And the answer is, shouldn't be a surprise, right? So it's definitely him. Painless. It's going to be it's sad to lose him, but hey, it's life, right? You know, you got to do what you got to do. But it's definitely Painless from V-Long. Now, who's under him, right? So now let's look at the top 10. So he's number 1 for most points scored in the season so far. But let's look at the rest of the top 10. So Wet right behind him, right? So Wet, hey man, this race is yours for the taking now that Painless is moving on. Wet could easily be the scoring champion. It's ironic because Wet just joined our committee recently. So he's helping out with stats. Grinding, man. I just got off the phone with him probably less than an hour ago. So he's grinding with us right now. But congrats to him right now to have the number 2 spot. We'll see when the week 3 episode comes out. We'll see if you take the number 1 spot. But K Brokey, hey man, hey, shout out to K, man. Shout out to K at the number 3 spot, and everyone else who made the top 10, right? You got Idamu, ISO Rose, all right. I can never pronounce buddy from tier 1. I can never pronounce his gamer tag. But he put up some numbers during week 2. I can promise you that much. Manny, you made the list, man. You're here. You made the list. Hey, so congrats. Hey, Curtis from Simply Great, man. Big shout out to Curtis, and then you got Go, and then also my boy Showtime. Let's go. My point guard is still in the top 10 for scoring champion. AMC over everybody. All right, let's go. Hey, so let's move on. Rebounds. Y'all think it's changed or the same? The same. Same. So Coach currently at 74 rebounds. He is currently, right, if the season were to end today, he would be the glass cleaner of the year, right? So congrats to Coach again. Let's look. Top 10. Hey, so big show. Big show. You still got that number 2 spot, just like last week. Continue to do your thing, man. Continue to do your thing. You're only 5 rebounds away. Father Rand has not only has he cracked the top 10, he's in the top 5, right? So he's at that number 3. And I'll tell you, well, I don't want to ruin it, but he had a monster game against us. I'll just leave it at that. A monster game against me specifically. The matchup against me, and as a result, he's passed me on the rebounding chart. So, congrats to him. But everybody else, hey man, everybody else who made the list, man, just big shout out to y'all. If you have a teammate who is on the top 10 list and you are not hitting their phone up right now, congratulating them for not making the top 10, you wrong. You wrong, man. That's what it's about, man. Show that love, show that support, because we're grinding in the private club. All right, and let's go to Dimer of the Year. Right, so now we have a tie on this one. We have a tie. So K Broski and Ice Spider, all right, from TU and Area Code Boys, are tied at 69 for that first spot. 69 assists in 2 weeks, in just 6 games. Right. Let's look at the top 10. Bam. Right. So behind those two is my point guard Showtime. All right, so Show, congrats, bro. You made it to, you're the number 3 spot now. But if y'all remember, last time he was in the number 2 spot. So it's a close race, right? So not only is it a tie at the top, but Showtime is only 3 assists behind him. So, hey, man, keep doing your thing. Painless, like I said, sad to see Painless go. But everybody else, man, I see Casual on here. You're starting to see the same names over and over again. You can tell, you can tell where the real competition is at when you see the same names, repeat themselves in multiple different categories. So here again, man, if you got a teammate that made this list, man, hit them up, show your love and your congrats, man. So that said, hey, trivia question number 2. As of week 2, who was the only player to record a triple-double, right? So was it Painless? Was it Chains? Was it Wet? Or was it myself? All right, what y'all think? A, B, C, or D? Yeah, if you didn't already know, because I know there was an announcement about it, right? It was me. It was me. As of week 2, we're not even done with the week 3 stats yet. So I don't know if anyone's done it in week 3 yet. But yeah, pulled it off, man. It was definitely a special moment. So shout out to my guys, man. That was a special moment. Don't want to say too much about it because not really trying to be all about myself, but it was special. It was definitely special. All right. So now let's keep going. Steals. Right. So who's the king of thieves as of right now? Bam. So Nose Wook is how I'm gonna say it here again. Yeah, I'm trying to pronounce gamer tags, man. I just struggle with it. But anyways, your boy from Miami Killers has 26 steals. That's insane, bro. That is insane. Let's look at the overall list. So 26 and there's 5. There's a gap. There's space between. There's 5 steals between number 1 and number 2, right? 26 versus 19. But here it is. And man, look, I'm gonna just point this out. My dog Showtime is on this list as well, right? Sitting there at number 5. But yeah, man, hey, congrats to everybody out on here, right? Here again, I'm not gonna try to pronounce every single gamer tag because I can't. Just being honest with y'all. But here again, y'all know who you are. You know who your teammates are. Congratulate your teammates. Right, but this is the current, the King of Thieves award race, and yeah, it's the top 10, man, top 10. So we're gonna grind this out. We'll see what it looks like here in a couple of days for week 3 once we finish all the week 3 stats. So a couple more to go. Blocks. Let's see here. How about this? Another tie. So it's a 3-way tie, right? So GOAT from Forum Elite, weigh in on the game from distance steals, and Casual all have 9 blocks. So that is a close race, all right? For Rejector of the Year, that's a close race. I'm on here as well. So yeah, you see me, I'm at number 6. So I got 7 blocks. But this will be the tightest race of the year, period. Out of all of them, this will be the race that'll be the tightest. Right. So number 10. Oh, I didn't even know 40. I missed that. I did not know 48. Bro, we got 2 people on there. Let's go. AMC Legends in here, man. We got 2 people on here. But this will be the tightest race because obviously, blocks is probably the one stat that happens the least in any game. All right. So here again, it'll be interesting to see how this shapes out towards the end of the season. All right, 3-pointers made. Most 3-pointers made so far, ISO Rhodes, Miami Killers, has dropped 30 3-pointers, right? So he's number 1 on the list for sniper of the year, right? As of right now. So you know what I'm saying? Hey, Miami Killers, y'all go reach out to your boy, man. He's definitely killing it right now. Hostile and all them. That said, here's the top 10 here. All right. So top 10, Painless, obviously, here again, hurt to lose him. I know don't want to beat that dead horse, but it just kind of, hurts to lose him for sure. But I see Manny on here. I see iBuckets on here from Xavier. I see Prada from Violence. I know Trevor. Me and Trevor go back, back to rank pro-am. So congrats, man. You made it on the top 10. I dime on you's on here. Wet is on here again. Wet is definitely in the conversation for MVP. There's no way he can't be, right? He's in too many of these categories right now. So, big shout out to him. But hey, here again, even though I can't pronounce your name, the guy from Tier 1 Hoopers at that number 3 spot, man, did he put on a show? Did he put on the show against Xavier? So I think we finna talk about that next here after we finish these. All right. So trivia question 3. There's only one player, as I said earlier, to still have 100% field goal percentage after attempting 10 or more field goals. What team does this player play for? What team does the player play for? Morals of Silence, Air Code Boys, TU, Vamp Camp, or Northside Vibes? And the answer is TU. So who is it? Who from TU has shot at least 10 or more field goals and made every single one of them? The answer is that boy, Benji Get Busy. Benji Get Busy. He is the only player in the entire league right now. As of week 2, here again, I don't know. I don't know if he finished with 100% field goal percentage after week 3. I actually don't know that because we're not there yet. But as of week 2, he's the only person to do it. So big shout out to him, right? All right. So as you can see, bam. So Benji's 11 for 11. 11 for 11. He's the only person that's made every single one of his shots. And every single one of his shots, and obviously, 10 or more attempts. But this is what it looks like right now. This is what it looks like. The field goal percentage race. What we decided to do here to cap it off to make it fair. If you only played in one game and you've only shot 2 shots, so you're 2 for 2. That's you shouldn't be in the same conversation for the Mr. Efficient Award, right? You got to put some volume out there. You actually have to make some attempts. So so Dollar TV, who is 28 for 32. 28 for 32. That is insane. 28 for 32. That is insane. 10 for 12. That's legit. Like, those are the type of percentages that need to be highlighted, right? Going 9 for 10, 9 for 10, 23 for 26, right? From unfortunately, they just dropped, but I mean, you'll still get that recognition. You have another AMC legend over there, right? AMC over everybody, Honcho Savage. So shout out to my dog Honcho out of Memphis, out of North Memphis, shooting 85% from the field. Yeah, man. And you got 2 people from Domination. 2 people from Domination who's also, all right, so efficiency matters. Efficiency definitely matters. And then last but not least, we'll cap it off with our 3-point percentage. All right, so Dollar TV, we just talked about it earlier. Dollar TV from Up and Over has that 88% 3-point percentage, which is the highest 3-point percentage by anyone who has shot 10 threes or more. And here's what that looks like. So he's at the top, right? But here's what that looks like. All right, so you got to look at the volume, though. You got to respect the volume. All right. Wet. So his teammate, Wet, 34 threes attempted. He's made 24 of them, shooting 71%. Man, that's legit, right? So this is the Mr. Green Award. You gotta you gotta respect. I'm on here, bro. So the funny thing is, here I am. I do everybody's stats, but the stats take so long that by the time I arrange everything and I organize and I make it look nice in PowerPoint or whatnot, I actually don't go back and look to like see who's where. So I promise you, I did not before this. I did not realize that I was number 8 for the Mr. Green Award. Okay, 10 for 15, 67%. Wow. I didn't know that. I did not know that at all. We'll see. I'm pretty sure that's probably going to go down if I remember. So I think I played pretty poorly in week 3. But hey, man, if you got a teammate that's on here, listen, reach out. Congrats, man. Like man, it's a special thing. See your name on the podcast. Top 10 in any category. It shows the grind. It shows the hustle. It shows the discipline. Right. It shows what we're about here in the private club. All right. So remember this. Now let's talk about everybody's favorite topic, the records. The records is by far everyone's favorite topic, right? Most points in a game, most rebounds in a game, most assists in a game. So just remember this rule of thumb. If a record still stands from the previous week, then it's going to be white, right? But if that record was broken in this episode, if that record was broken, then it's going to be green. All right. So we're going to start off with most points scored in one game. Was that record broken, or is it still the same from last week? There was a huge announcement about it in Discord if you haven't heard. So I'm just going and let y'all know right now, this record was broken. And it might be quite some time before anyone else breaks it again. This kid went for 63. Man. So I think Wet had the original. I think Wet went for like 43 in week 1. He went for 63 against Xavier. That is insane. That in a league game, that's insane. That's insane. Man, that is insane. All right. Most rebounds in the game, y'all think it was broken or it still stands from the previous week? Still stands. Coach, you still got the record. For now, I don't want to spoil anything. For now, he still has the record in week 2. Stay tuned for that week 3. I'm not saying somebody broke it, but just stay tuned. All right. Most assists in the game, we now have a tie. All right. So ironically, we had a tie last week. And the tie was at 17. Now we're tied up again, and 2 people broke that record, right? So the record was broken on March 14th, right, by Nari from Tier 1. All right, got 18. He did it against Simply Great. All right, then a few days later, that Sunday on March 19th, Icebreaker did it for Area Code Boys against Xavier. So now 18 assists is the record for most assists in the game. All right, most steals in the game. That record has not changed. That record has not changed at all. It's still Sunday. Excuse me, it's still 9. Set by Edward from Team Domination. That record did get broken. All right. So Go from Forum Elite now has 9 blocks in one game. All right. So still no one is close to double digits yet as of week 2 in steals or blocks as of yet. And then most 3-pointers in one game, I don't think it's hard to figure out who broke this record. Obviously, he broke it in the same game that he got 63 points. He also got 19 threes dropped in that game. Insane. I think the record before that was like 10 threes. Like 10 threes in one game was the record before, and he just shattered that. That's crazy, bro. Like that is crazy. So that caps off this episode, right? Episode 2 of the Private Club Podcast. Listen, tune in for the next episode here again, which will be in about 48 to 72 hours, depending how quickly we can get everything done. Right, so we can get the whole league caught back up. Hey, man, love y'all to death. Let's do it for the league. Yeah. All right. Oh yeah. Y'all see this? Yeah, aim silver.